Okay, class. Quiet, quiet. Now, get out your pencils and paper and write down the assignment.
No.
Did you hear that? We got an...
Everyone must write an essay on what.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how.
Not to do at a stoplight.
Oh, did you hear that? What not to do at a stoplight?
In no less than
9,000
words.
Did you hear that?
9,000
Bird.
Yeah, I know.
Due tomorrow. And remember, class, hard and no off.
No.
Okay, Gary, no off. I am about to write the greatest essay of all time.
Okie dokie, princess. It's your turn to type.
Great essays, it will be written on... Even more important than the paper is...
Die!